Hey guys, I'm Ian today, and today I'll be previewing New Zealand versus Australia for Bledisloe 2. So yeah, the first Bledisloe was very interesting. Both sides had a 16-all draw. It was massive. I mean, it was really just a nail-biter. Reece Hodge had a chance in the final, I think it was like the 82nd minute to win the game with a penalty. I think it was like from 60 yards out. He hit the post. New Zealand had a chance. They got on the counter from that. They got the ball, brought it all the way up to Australia's 22. Got a penalty. Even went even further, and then decided not to take the drop kick, which they were publicly hated for really because they don't normally do the drop kick, which is kind of a New Zealand thing in a sense, but it might have just been timing. A lot of players within the press conferences have just said, like Beauden Barrett recently said that he's been practicing his drop kicking for this match, so hopefully we'll see more of that. But yeah, anyway, the game ended in a draw, so this game is really important to see who will actually be ahead in the Bledisloe when they actually go to Australia for the Rugby Championship. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, the game will be played within Auckland, which is great to see, at Eden Park, which is even better. And yeah, New Zealand normally win at Eden Park, so yeah. It is actually in favour of New Zealand this time. I mean, I did say it was in favour of New Zealand within Wellington, but trust me, when I say it's in Eden Park, it's definitely New Zealand definitely have the advantage within this game. But yeah, just when looking at New Zealand, they've made a few changes to this side. Starting off with number 1, they've selected Joe Moody. At number 2, they're going with Dan Coles. At number 3, they're going with Offerton Mufasi. At 4, they're going with Patrick Piloto. At 5, they're going with Tupou Vavae. At 6, they're going with Shannon Brazil. At 7, they're going with Sam Cane, who's the captain of the side. And at 8, they're going with Artie Sevilla. So yeah, it's a very, very good looking forward pack there. They've made 2 changes to this side really within that forward pack with Dan Coles coming in to replace Cody Taylor from the last match, and Tupou Vavae to replace Sam Whitelock. So yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, both of them. I mean, first of all, with Dan Coles, it's kind of what I expected, really. I mean, Dan Coles actually, personally, I thought he had a better game than Cody Taylor when he actually came off the bench to make an impact. So yeah, he definitely deserves to start with this match, and he's just better really with his lineup for us really. So that's kind of why I like him. But yeah, Tupou Vavae as well. He's getting his his start really. He already had his debut within the last match, but he's actually getting his first All Blacks start, which is massive for him really at the lock spot with Patrick Piloto. So hopefully that duo should work. They're both kind of a similar player in the sense where Tupiloto is more of a physical player. That's kind of what he's known for. But Vavae is more for Tupou Vavae is known for really more of the line out as well as just being. He's also physical as well. So it's kind of interesting. That'll be interesting to see how that goes. But yeah, with the loose forward trio as well with Frizzell, Kane, and Sevilla, I mean that hasn't changed and really shouldn't change. I mean if they do change it, the only change I would like is maybe to put Hoskins Tutu in maybe for Sevilla and shift Sevilla into 7 or you leave Kane out in that situation, or you bring in Akira Laone maybe for Shannon Frizzell. But other than that, I'm not really going to argue with the loose forwards. They all played pretty well within that game against Australia last week, and especially Sam Cane. I mean, I think he recorded 20 tackles within that game, which is that's just what you want to see from your captain, really. So yeah, good performance from him overall, and hopefully he can do the same within this match. But yeah, I think that's it with the forward pack. So moving on to for the backs for the All Blacks. At number 9 they selected Aaron Smith. At 10 they're going Richie Mo'unga. At 11 they're going Caleb Clark. At 12 they're going Jack Goodhue. At 13 they're going Antonio Brown. At 14 they're going Jordan Barrett. And at 15 they're going Beauden Barrett. So yeah, this is a new improved, you could say, back line. They've a lot of people have been put in within the back line, especially with the likes of Caleb Clark getting his debut at 11, which is great to see. I'm a Blues fan, so I love to see that he's actually getting within the All Blacks setup and getting into the starting lineup for a huge game. So that's just great to see because he's just one of those players who I continually say that he can bring 3 players to him, and he can just take them all on, and he's literally just a triple threat in the sense where he can he's good. He's a good ball carrier. He's a lethal try scorer, and he's able to kick the ball as well. So yeah, he's a great player really. So can't wait to see him play. But yeah, the other one is Antonio Brown, who's starting in at 13 for Rieko Laine, which I'm not going to really go into because I think we all know why that's happening, and because of his his poor mistakes, I should say, on the try line. But anyway, Antonio Brown, like I said, he's always reliable, and Going back to that system, a Goodhue and Alexander Brown has been pretty successful, really. So not really gonna argue that. I mean, it's done pretty well. And yeah, they're sticking to Jordy Barrett at 14, which is great to see because I thought he had a good game. His kicking was, I would say, it was on point. I mean, it was hard to deal with, obviously, because of the wind during the day. But I mean, I think overall he did pretty well. And yeah, the other big news is that Beauden Barrett's back in the side. So yeah, for the last game, I know I said that Beauden Barrett would be in the side, but obviously that got switched out the last minute for McKenzie due to injury. But yeah, for this game, it seems like Beauden Barrett will play, so that's great to see. The All Blacks definitely missed that X factor, you could say, within Beauden Barrett. He is a taller player than McKenzie. I mean, McKenzie had a great game actually within the first Bledisloe one, but yeah, I think Beauden Barrett is just more of a complete player overall, so he'll bring more to the table. But yeah, we'll just see how that combination works with Beauden Barrett and Richie Mo'unga, because that's been questioned a lot, throughout the last year, really, especially within the World Cup, and one of the reasons why a lot of people think the All Blacks didn't do so well. So we'll see if it works out. But yeah, moving on to the bench. They have a great bench. The likes of Cody Taylor, Alex Hodgman, Nepo Lala. They have Scott Barrett, Hoston Tutu, TJ Perenara, Rico Lani, and Damien McKenzie. So yeah, a few names in there who obviously were put out or who are now benched for this game starting from last game. But yeah, I like to see Alex Hodgman. Another Blues player is getting a chance. He's on the bench. Hopefully, he can make an impact within the second half. Same with Nepo Lala. He brings a lot of experience to the table. He was one of the few Chiefs players I was probably impressed by. Throughout the whole competition within Super Rugby Aotearoa. And same for Hoston Tutu. I mean, hopefully he can make an impact within the side like he did last game. And Scott Barrett, very surprised to see him within this game. I thought he was actually going to be injured, but yeah, no, it's good to see that he's actually recovered and you'll be able to. I mean, hopefully he'll be able to play. So yeah, good to see him. Good to see him back within the starting 23. And yeah, TJ Perenara obviously will make an impact within the second half. That's just an easy switch, really. And yeah, Rico Lani, we'll see if he gets the play. I'm not too sure, but other than that, I mean, that's really it with New Zealand. So yeah, moving on to Australia. Australia haven't really changed anything within their side. I mean, the Wallabies played brilliantly. I've had to say, within that last game, it was. Personally, I think they should have won. They really controlled the game, with territory and possession. But yeah, what can you do? I mean, this is you are playing the All Blacks in their home. It was a close game. But anyway, Australia have gone with at number 1 they're going with James Slipper. At number 2 they're going with Brandon Pengamosa. At 3 they're going with Taniela Tupou. At 4 they're going with Lachlan Saikai Loto. At 5 they're going with Matt Phillip. At 6 they're going with Ned Hannigan. At 7 they're going with Michael Hooper, who's the captain of the side. And at 8 they're going with Harry Wilson. So yeah, they've made a few changes from that forward pack. Also some switches as well. Starting off with Brendan Pengamosa in the hooker swap. They've swapped him out for Flavanga. And yeah, I totally agree. I mean, Flavanga just wasn't on form within that game. His throwing was so it just wasn't on point, really. That's probably one of the areas of his game he tries to perfect because obviously he's so good within scoring tries. So yeah, I'm not really going to be too disappointed in not seeing him play. But yeah, Brandon Pengamosa has been brilliantly really for the Reds throughout Super Rugby AU. So yeah, he definitely deserves to get that start. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan Uaisi got that start, but anyway, he deserves it. But yeah, anyway, Taniela Tupou, he's starting again, which is great to see. Everyone loves him. And then same with James Slipper. Both of them were pretty good within their front row. I'd say overall in the scrum, I think New Zealand won more of it, but they were pretty. You could see that they've definitely improved their scrum for sure. But yeah, with that lock situation, they just kept the same really. Lachlan Saikai Loto and Matt Phillip, both of them did pretty well within that game, so you're not really going to judge that. But yeah, it's really within the loose forwards where they've done a couple of switches. With number 6, they've actually put in Ned Hannigan from the Waratahs, which is pretty interesting because he's actually played pretty well for the Waratahs throughout Super Rugby AU, so great to see him getting a start. I mean, same with Harry Wilson. He's been swapped to the 8 spot in place of Pete Samu. So I kind of agree with that. I think Harry Wilson's a better number 8 really than Pete Samu is. I mean, he's just more. I mean, Pete Samu has obviously more experience, but yeah, I think Harry Wilson's just the next big thing really for the Wallabies. So yeah, just good to see that he's actually in his proper position. And yeah, Michael Hooper, he played brilliantly as well as the captain for the Wallabies in the last match. He got his 100th cap as well, so fair play to him. So yeah, no, hopefully he is able to lead the front within the forward pack. So yeah, moving on to the backs. At number 9, they selected Nick White. At number 10, they're going James O'Connor. At 11, they're going Maurice Corbetti. At 12, they're going with Matt Tamua. At 13, they're going Hunter Pasami. At 14, they're going with Filippo Dangadu. And at 15, they're going with Tom Banks. So yeah, no, it's a very interesting back line. Really, they haven't really made. I don't think they've made any changes to it. Yeah, they haven't made any changes to the back line, which is kind of expected in a sense, where the back line just formed pretty well. I mean, both wingers with Corbetti and Dangadu getting a try on the day, which is great to see. They were able to bring the ball out wide to the wingers, just give them more space, which is kind of what they wanted to do anyway. And yeah, Tom Banks. I mean, Tom Banks was pretty good within the air. He was able to catch a lot of balls that New Zealand gave him. And I was impressed by Hunter Pasami. He's just a battering ram, really. So yeah, fair play to him. And Matt Tamua, mate, I personally think he was one of the man of the matches really for Australia. I mean, you would probably give it to Nick White. I mean, Nick White was brilliant throughout that match. I mean, he really controlled the game, and he got that assist at the end to Dangadu, which is great to see. But yeah, no, Matt Tamua, he impressed me again. I mean, his tackling is it's unbelievable, really, for obviously, he's considered to be a 10. Obviously, he's short in that sense. But Matt, he's done really well at the 12 spot within that centre spot. So fair play to him, and he's just able to be another playmaker really for the Wallabies, with James O'Connor playing at 10. So yeah, that system's working really well. But yeah, moving on to the bench. They have a pretty decent bench as well. The likes of Jordan Uesi, Scott Seo, Alan Alatoa, Rob Simmons. They have the likes of Liam Wright, Jake Gordon, Jordan Matea, and Reece Hodge. So yeah, no, pretty good bench there. I hope Jordan Matea comes on to make an impact off the bench. I mean, he's probably one of my favourite Australian players, really, who's up and coming, obviously. So hopefully he can make an impact. I mean, same with Toa. I mean, he made a pretty big impact, I would say, within that second half when he got subbed on for, was it Tupou, I think? Yeah, for Tupou. So yeah, he did pretty well in that area. And yeah, maybe you get Liam Wright on for Ned Hannigan. I can see that probably happening. Have a half each. See what happens there. But yeah, other than that, I mean, they have a few players who can make an impact. But yeah, on the day, I think New Zealand, I think, will be woken up for this game. I know I said in the last match, for my prediction, my prediction now. I mean, I said New Zealand would win by I think what was it? I said 37-21 for my last prediction, which was terribly wrong. But yeah, I think for this one will definitely be a lot closer. But I do think New Zealand will win. I mean, it's at Eden Park, so they haven't lost at Eden Park for a very, very long time. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one really to if you're going to beat the All Blacks at Eden Park, then fair enough. I mean, the Wallabies, if they beat the All Blacks at Eden Park, then a lot of people will start questioning Ian Foster being appointed as the All Blacks coach. But yeah, I generally think that the All Blacks will win this game by 10 points. So I'll say the All Blacks will win this game by, I'll say 25 to 14. I'll say 25-14 the All Blacks will win. Yeah, 25-14. So yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.